He acts like he heard me. And I know he did because he doesn't comment back and stuff. And so if it's important, yeah, I'm sorry. If it's important, oh, you're a good person. I repeat it.
That's good, just in case.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order of our Hardy County Board of Education for April 6, 2026. Let's see, you want to offer prayer?
Sure. Let's bow our heads, please. Father, we thank you for this time together this evening. We ask that you're with us and help us to make good decisions this evening. Give us wisdom and discernment in all that is done. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we'll start with introductions. Josh, you want to start?
Josh Stevens, DJ Taylor, Ed Cole.
Bonnie Crates.
Sheena Van Meter.
Roy Harper.
Janet Rose.
Sean Collars.
Sheena Van Meter.
Melvin Shook.
Dixie Bean.
Doug Hunt.
Jennifer Strouderman.
Warren Sanders.
Okay, welcome everyone. It's nice to have everyone here. Okay, first up, we have Josh C. with maintenance and transportation updates.
I have a few cards for you tonight. On work orders, we were 92% reactive this month within the 7 days. Again, that 8% I think are the outstanding older ones, the roof leaks and so on and so forth. We closed 70 work orders. 37 of those were at the East Hardy schools, 2 here at the board office, and the rest were at the Moorfield buildings. I have a larger breakdown for those. Moorfield Middle School had 12. That was the most on this side of the county. Most of those were plumbing issues. Most of all of them were plumbing issues. I completed the air quality survey for the first quarter this month. We did have some roof leaks, what we thought were roof leaks at Moorfield Middle School. I called in Height estimated they were not roof leaks, they were condensation leaks on those couple of hot days that we had. So we reached out to RH Lab. RH Lab came in, they had to do some leveling on the condensation drains. Seemed to have taken care of it. We had some more hot days, but we did have 2 more leaks that were not part of the HVAC system. They call it the EIFS, or the exterior insulation and finish system. Stucco on the outside of the building has worn, and it's worn down to the screen, and it's running through the stucco, down the interior wall and through the ceiling. So while Height was there, I had to do the measurements and whatnot. We did receive a quote back from them. Dr. Van Meter and I got a hold of Allegra at ZMM, and ZMM is putting that on the roof project through the SBA. So it's not going to have to come out of our pocket. So thankful that is still open and that money's still available to us. So at some point we'll figure that out. Their idea there is they're just going to extend the metal out over top of it. It's right at the peak where the metal peak is. It's on that part, and where it's puddling is at the very bottom of it where it flattens out. So they're going to metal that entire peak and then down at the bottom. And they feel certain it'll take care of it. They said they had a building in Hampshire County that did the same thing. East Hardy Elementary School, we found another water line break. It was between the meter and the building. It is the same type of water line. We ran a mini, we fixed it, but it did take us a day or 2 before we could get on that. Went over a weekend before we could get to it. The MES awning, you'll still see that open. So we have taken foam, we've cut out individual pieces of foam. I think there's over 150 individual pieces of foam. We've put back in those metal, we've caulked around it, we've painted it brown. I pulled up this morning and birds came out of all the posts. So today we were filling all the posts in. So we didn't do the owl mount and the bird calls. So hopefully we'll just keep chasing them, but we're leaving it open until we feel confident and certain that one's going to work. But it is still open, and it's one of the older ones. So also at MES, during that real cold snap that we had, the floor expansion joints expanded on us. And it forced the tile up in certain areas of the building. It wasn't in one in particular place. It was sporadic throughout the building, and it forced the tile up maybe 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, something. But it cracked some of those tiles. So over spring break, we removed those tiles, put new tile back down. I feel certain it's probably going to happen again. We didn't want to mess with the expansion joint. We could have grinded it down, but we did not. But that was how we spent our spring break, was putting tile down. We have a grid inspection this month on the 22nd. For the county, for our end, the maintenance side, it's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions on work orders, I can jump right into the ESG updates.
I have a question. It's not on a work order, but what is the status of the high tunnel at Moorfield High School?
Cody was waiting until after spring break. The cover is sitting in our building, and the Moorfield High FFA was going to put that cover back on.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not one of ours. We're just housing until he comes back. So tomorrow, I told the guys to take it over, put it in the shop today, so he'd jump on it first thing. But it's up to them, and he wanted to wait till after spring break before he started on it. But it is here. It's just it'll be up to them. ESG. Yes, ma'am.
Hold on just a second. I see that the lights in the auditorium are out, and we're coming up upon concert season now.
Yeah.
And I think we need to have that fixed, because that's our showplace where
Agreed.
families and
So
stuff come.
ESG is going to do that for us, and they're going to rent a piece of equipment. At the same time, we've got to unbolt entire rows in order to fit
Of
that
those
equipment.
seats, I remember
Yes.
you
We
saying
have to
that.
unbolt out of the concrete, move those chairs out of the way, move the piece of equipment, the lift in, and then go from there. We looked at engineering some type of a tool that we could reach up from the ground. It didn't work. We can't do it. So we're going to have to actually get a piece of equipment in there
Okay.
to do that. I'll
You
see if
think
I
you
can. Yeah, I'll see. I'll
hurry
talk
it
to
up a
Jeff.
little?
Jeff's
Yeah.
been obviously great to work with, so I'll push that it is that time of year and see what we can do.
Yeah,
try
because they, you know, there's dance recitals, there's everything, choir, a bunch of stuff.
Sure. ESG, they have started the initial pieces of the solar project. You can go around to some of the buildings. They have poured some of the foundational supports for the awnings. They've dug and buried most of the conduit. If you are at East Hardy, going out past the school, stay on the old Route 55 where it's actually blocked off. They've removed all the brush, most of the trees. There's more trees out there I told them to take. It looks really, really, really good. I don't know. Have you looked?
It does look.
It looks great.
It looks
It
better
really
than
does.
this.
Yeah. And I told them there's some more cherry trees and some elm trees out there that are on our side of the line. I told them, I was like, go ahead and take those as well. And then I'm kind of hopeful that the neighbors will, I've talked to Lyle a little bit, and I'm hopeful the neighbors get their side of the fence too. And maybe it'll clear that whole thing up and not cast so much shadow on us. It looks fantastic though. He's projecting solar to be complete over the summer. That's the awnings and that field in between the two buildings. And then the HVAC, at MES, they were wanting to have that completed over spring break. The timeline didn't work for them with the weather and everything leading up to that point, that he's projecting that will be done over the summer as well. Other than that, I'll try to push the auditorium through to them and see if I can't get that happen faster. I'm hoping that wasn't part of this summer project, but I think we can make that happen. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Can we go back to the water line at East Hardy Elementary?
sure.
How much of that line has already been replaced and how much? more?
None of the line, this was the line from the meter to the building.
Right,
Yeah, so
But-
none of that line has been replaced. From the
But-
meter to the football field, 100% has been replaced.
okay, I thought we had all,
No,
that's,
ma'am,
that's
this
what I was
is a
asking.
different, it's off the same exact meter. It's I don't know how to describe it to you. So you have a bell in, and the inside of the bell is a rubber gasket. The other end of the pipe is not bell, it's a male end. So the male end slides into the female, the gasket pretty much kind of clicks onto it and seals it at the same time. That's the type of water line that they put in. It's not a continuous piece of pipe.
Okay,
Yeah. And,
Right.
and over time, I don't know how long ago it was that they put it in. I would not choose to put something in like that. I've talked to numerous old excavators like Roger Chan, and he told me a piece of sand over time that it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse till finally it actually gives away. And I think that's what's happened in these couple of locations where we found it is when they put it in, it wasn't completely cleaned around the gasket. But we're kind of looking into, we've got a water hammer in that building, and we think the meter's too small along with the feed line. So you have I think it's a 2.5-inch line that is feeding a 6-inch line, but the meter is too small to feed anything other. It needs to be larger. So you have to upgrade the meter. Talk to Logan. Logan said the purchase of the meter would be on us. They would put the meter in, and then it boils down to a quote from somebody like ER Excavating to run that water line into the building. It's not very far. It does go under the road, and it runs right along the edge of the building. Maybe 125 yards or less. It's not a long run at all, but it definitely needs something.
so when we get this part taken care of, are there additional parts of the water line that are going to
Not off
mess
the
up?
meter, no. Unless there's something that they ran from the building to like the softball field. Now, I don't know what that line is. I've never had to deal with that line.
So that could be next.
Could be. This line's, it's a headache.
Yeah.
It's a headache, yeah. It's a headache. We were lucky to, it was actually the secretary found this one. There was a puddle on the sidewalk and we just kind of went and looked and boom, it shot up through the ground on us. So we got lucky with it.
One more backup, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
So you said the tiles inside the school are cracking in various rooms. We've never had that happen before.
Never have.
Why is it
I don't know. The extreme cold is the only thing we could think of. Armitrout actually thought that the plumbing was frozen underneath the building. And I'd seen it in other buildings where we've had those rises, especially at Moorfield Middle School, and it's even happening at Moorfield High School. You'll see those rises on expansion joints. That pad is poured in 1973. It's older than I am. And this is the first time that it's ever done anything like that, to my knowledge, and to Wade's knowledge. I think he said he's been there like 19 years. But when he saw it, his OCD kicked in, small little cracks in the tile just got the better of him. So we just decided to go ahead and replace it. We told him this is the last time, it's probably going to happen again. That the only ones that we're going to replace from that point will be anything that breaks. So hopefully, you're only talking, it was less than 50 tiles. It was just sporadic throughout the building. You'd have a line 4 or 5 feet long, and then most of them was in the hallways, not very many in the classroom.
Because that water bill's saying, the same, but I just never heard of something like that.
Yeah.
But you're right, it could be that they did freeze.
I think they froze. I truly do. I think they froze and expanded somehow.
Because the water level with the river back there would be probably fairly close. But we'll have to watch it, because if it froze, it could have done something.
Yeah. Well, none of the plumbing side has showed up on anything yet.
Well, there were lots of cracked tiles at the middle school.
There's a lot up there, and we're going to do those over the summer. We were able to find matching tile. But stuff
Was that just
wasn't-
the age of the building?
I think so. It's most of that has happened with foundational setting.
Okay.
It's along the edges and it's on expansion joints. 100% of them are. It's not just like a worn out tile. It just doesn't happen.
No, it's just that there's
yeah.
a whole line.
It's
of
just
cracks.
it's settling.
We need to get
Everything's
out
settling
of
around it and
this
those tiles.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, you break them with your hand.
That water line, Josh, under the road there had busted one time, long
It
time ago.
busted. It was my first year.
Okay.
It busted.
And before you had also busted.
it
there
busted
under the
there
road.
then as well. It's the same kind of line.
Right.
And I think we put the same line back in when we fixed it because it wasn't like splicing or
Right.
coupling two together. Yeah. So that line, you know where that meter is?
Yeah.
And then it goes into the building at the window, right beside the front entrance door.
Right.
It goes right in the, underneath, what's her name's office and into Maggie's right there where it comes in. So it's fairly easy to find.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, is putting the larger water meter in there, is
The
that?
larger water meter will take care of the water hammer inside the building. So there's a water hammer inside the building that one of these days is going to go. We've reinforced it every way we could. We put PRVs in there. We've done everything we can on our end, and we can't find it. I've had Logan in there, I've had Logan's boss in there, engineers in there, and it's just mind boggling that the only thing we can think of is there's not enough water coming into the building to
Yeah.
handle that building. And Logan, PSD, Logan Warriors, follow up, but Logan stated that it's not a commercial grade that you would see for that size of a building. It's too small for outside of a building of that size. Yeah.
Because hadn't ESG said that we needed to downsize on some meters?
So those were Moorfield Middle and Moorfield Intermediate, and those are the ones that are coming out. So I checked on that. Those meters will not work in the ground. They have to be, they're wall mounted inside Moorfield Middle and Moorfield Intermediate, but they will not.
He was hoping he could
It's a
borrow
different
one. Yeah.
Situation, okay.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, so we're gonna be stuck with 2 water meters and have to purchase a third. Yeah, because they won't work. Yeah.
This,
Thank you.
I don't mean to be stupid. What is a water hammer?
So, picture a hiccup. It's a hiccup. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so, anyone goes and flushes a toilet, the system is there's not enough water to catch up with what just went out. So it makes the pipes move, and literally they're moving 6 to 8 inches upstairs, and it's a 6-inch copper line that every time it makes a bang, you can hear it throughout the building. It will move that 6-inch line 6 to 8 inches every time the toilet's flushed. Every single time it's flushed, it just makes a bang, and that's your hammer part, and it's starving for water. It's just not getting it fast enough. And we put the PRVs in, a pressure reducing valve, to try to keep that back the best we could. But if we turn it back any further, then the toilets don't flush. We have clogged lines, yada, 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 so on and so forth. So it's just, we're chasing it, and we're finally to the point now, we have to do something, or we're just gonna keep getting the 32 work orders for plumbing issues that we started out with.
Yeah, I just wondered what
Yeah,
part that had to play in all the
it's starving for
issues
water.
that we have
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
the line to the sprinkler, is that a separate line? The sprinkler system?
I don't know. The only sprinklers I know of is they feed don't know. I know the ones you're talking about now. You're talking about the small sprinkler that comes out. I don't know where that sprinkler comes from. I can follow that back.
Yeah.
Is that
Sprinkler in
No, I was talking about the
is that
inside.
coming out of the frost freeze hydrant beside the bleachers? Is that where they hook those up? Or are you talking about the one that comes out?
No, I was talking about inside the fire.
Oh, no, totally different.
It's a
Absolutely,
separate
yeah.
line.
Residential,
It's up on the
residential
roof.
line, sprinkler line,
Yeah.
100% totally.
It doesn't run without one, though, does it?
No, it does not. Yeah, totally, completely different.
just if the head's messed up on it, and then it dumps it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they test those heads every 10 years or so.
Yeah, the fire marshal looks at like one
Right,
in each building, and he'll tell you where they're outdated.
right,
They're outdated.
Yeah, because it's the same water.
right.
They're
Fire doesn't care whether it's fresh or not.
per head.
Oh, geez. I'm worried about 500 in there.
There's a pile. Yes, sir, there's a pile. Any other facilities? So we got a page and a half, Doc.
Go for it. You're fine.
Transportation, we conducted an inspection on March 31st. I think Dr. Van Meter emailed those out to you. We had another good one. Our final inspection will be tomorrow, so that'll be all of our buses, and it is tomorrow. Driver situation currently, we only have 4 sub-bus drivers that are willing to do AM and PM runs. We have an additional 4 drivers, 2 that are willing to do AM runs, 2 that are willing to do PM runs, and 2 of those guys, one will only do on this side of the mountain, one will only do on the other side of the mountain. So we are struggling. So that gives us a grand total of 8 sub-bus drivers. I've already had to drive several times last week, and I just got informed today that on Thursday, I'm taking a field trip to the Air and Space Museum. So,
Oh, that'll be
if I
fun.
don't go, my daughter doesn't go, so I'm driving a bus on Thursday there in Space Museum, so
That's a good trip.
I hope so.
I bet we hear about it when you get back.
We did receive bus quotes, from Bluebird. Gas, I did check on gas. Gas maintenance is a lot cheaper. Gas bus, I'm not even gonna look up to you guys when I call these numbers out. $151,000 plus or minus. If we do order by May 10th, it's a $1,500 rebate. I'll have those to you by the next meeting too as well. Diesel, $162,000 with a $2,000 rebate if we order before May 10th. Again, I'll share those with you before the May 4th meeting, and that way it'll give us enough time that we can order and possibly get the rebates, whichever way you want to go. Now, as a reminder to you, just so you can think about it prior to then, when I first came on, I told you guys about the diesel emissions and then choking down the emissions on it. Next year is the last year before the diesel is choked down to the 0.001 on their emissions. So we can order diesels one more time. I went to a working lunch, a meeting lunch with Sawyer, the Bluebird rep out of West Virginia, and he did inform me that Hardee County and Tucker County are the only two West Virginia counties that are still ordering diesel power buses from Bluebird. Main reason being is cost. With the emission down on it, it costs more obviously for your maintenance side of things. And when I told Andy Miller that I was leaning towards gas, it kind of upset him because he would potentially be losing money because they just don't take as much maintenance. Now, their engines will blow up. They don't last as long. They'll make the 180,000, but there are times where they won't. But the cost of replacing an engine in a gas is $8,000 versus $24,000 to $26,000 on your diesel side. You don't have to run any type of the DEF system through it. You don't have the burnouts. It's just, you change the filters, change the oil on the gas, and that's about the only maintenance that you really have compared to you got a diesel truck and all the issues that happen with diesel. So
Miller's good spouse.
The longevity is,
Me,
me, a lot
used to be.
maybe you don't
We
need
get
that.
90%
think-
back.
I asked him
Yeah.
about power, and he told me, I said, I'll use the football team. I said, if I have a bus and I'm fully loaded and I'm going to East Hardee, how fast can I run that first pull on that mountain? He says, you'll do 65 mile an hour in a gas bus, fully loaded with a football team. You're doing 40 to 45 right now with Moorfield Intermediate School kids going to the Air Space Museum. You can pull that here. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the difference in it, the power. You're gonna have quick power. Now, it doesn't have engine brakes. The drivers will have to learn all over again how to drive them, but other than that, that's your main difference is maintenance cost and what was it, $11,000 difference on the purchase end of things.
So are most of our buses now diesel?
Every single one of them is diesel.
Oh,
We do not have a gas.
why did
We can buy diesel one more time.
Before your time, but why did they switch them?
To,
From
or gas to diesel?
I don't know. Did they have gas?
Yeah.
Was there gas? Was it- Do you know why they changed?
Last longer. Engines are more durable.
More
I
durable.
was gonna say, I just can't imagine that,
I mean, yeah, we buy diesel
Way to go,
pickups for that
Right.
same reason.
especially in a school bus, because you're gonna keep it forever.
Right.
I just can't imagine you're not gonna have issues.
The only issue that I have is the emissions changing on it again the next time. And so we can do it one more year on a diesel, which at 162,000, we probably only purchase one.
That hasn't let up
No.
with EPA?
I thought
thought
President
that
Trump
stuff
had
was-
said that you could,
I'd like
you
to
know, pollute as much as you want.
hear you say that in 6 months,
Oh, yeah,
because I think that's changing,
the emissions end of it?
Yeah.
Okay,
big time.
when we met 2 weeks ago, it was still 0.001.
Okay.
It was gonna be 2027.
Because with, this is tractors, but those tractors are diesel, those are
Right.
large tractors. That's coming down the pipeline very quickly, that garbage is gonna be taken off.
Out the door, okay.
So-
If it is, I mean.
The DFE is,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, whatever, is it, when they have to bring your tractor in 20 minutes and burn that stuff out. That's all.
Yeah, and we're telling drivers.
You have to do that with
get-
buses too?
Well, yes, they do. The buses will do it on their own.
Oh, okay.
What I've been telling what they gotta pull off to the side of the road, and that happened, it could be a loaded bus. But what I've been telling the guys to do is gear down, when they're on these tertiary roads, these back roads, instead of running at 5.5 and then jumping up, go ahead and gear that thing down, run your RPMs up, and go ahead and burn that
Well,
stuff
the
out.
tractor, you're not supposed to run when it starts to go your way. It starts to burn out, you're supposed to.
You know, the buses will shut down and not have any power where you have to pull off the side of the road and go through that. Yeah.
What's it, carbon? That, what are
Oh,
they
no,
burning
makes a heck of a
out?
noise when it burns.
Yeah. Trying to burn, is that right?
Yeah.
Carbon, yeah.
Do you want to give your other updates
Is
now
that-
It's from the.
before they get to approval?
mechanism that's supposed to prevent this.
If you need to go, why don't you go ahead and give your other updates now?
If that's.
And so you burn it out and close.
Yeah, just under your current presentation, yeah.
Around your hay, when you're making hay and stuff.
Yeah, it is.
They just won't.
Hey, Josh,
This one-
we've been trying to concentrate too on, with the buses, not having them over 12 years.
Yeah.
And so that's probably another reason to go to gas.
It could be, yeah, very much.
Because we don't get any reimbursement at all if a bus is over 12
No,
12 years.
or 180,000 miles, whichever one comes first.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you hit 180,000 miles in 10
What
years,
is these?
they pay you off for the end of the 12 years.
All right.
So if you hit 10 years at 180,000, that next year you
We're
get,
doing that with
Get a
some
level.
buses, are we not?
we haven't hit 180,000 less than 12 years on anything that I've monitored so far.
What are you paying for diesel fuel now? You know,
I don't- Not off the top of my head.
5,
Over
60,
$5.
70,
That's what it is at the, yeah, at the top.
some states is 5 something.
I think it's 530 for tractor.
But that's why we wanted to try to maybe buy 3 was so that, but then there was a problem with, we wouldn't be able to have money to have one for next year, but we're
Right.
trying to get the fleet down to it, where just maybe one will come up
I
that's
think we're
12
running,
years and,
I don't want to give you a number. We're somewhere around 10 or 11 buses that are over 12 years that are running AMP amounts
yeah,
right now.
and we don't get any reimbursement on
No, we're
those.
just paying maintenance costs.
Yeah, yeah, so we need to,
I mean, it's 95% reimbursement on that, but we're still paying that 5% maintenance cost on those
Right.
buses.
right, but it'd be good, I think to,
And that doesn't count the spares that we,
Yeah,
every
yes.
spare is like that.
yeah,
Can you even get gasoline?
can you,
And look,
I said, can you even
Not
get buy a gasoline tractor? I don't think you,
I have no idea anything about gasoline tractors.
Seen one of them.
He's going to go ahead and review his information for the next 2 things because he has to leave. We're just not going to vote on it till we get to it.
I just have one more quick question
Yeah, absolutely.
before you move on. I saw an ad in the paper, something about
Flooring stuff.
bleachers be repaired. What is that?
So, Moorfield High School, we had the inspection and Brim had brought it up to our attention prior to. So Huffman did the inspection and we were attempting to make corrections to those bleachers. She's already started, rumor put fencing around the edges of, this is Moorfield High School football field.
Okay,
Sorry, had put fencing around the outer edges, but what you run into is between the seat and the pads, the opening is too great. So I think it was Hampshire Metal Works or
Yeah.
somebody in Hampshire County, had given them a quote to put them in the ballpark. We ran the ad, they never answered the phone, they never sent it, so we're probably gonna have to run it again, but they're just gonna run a strip kind of in the middle somewhere to.
Just to make the hole
eliminate that.
smaller.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I was coaching, you guys may remember it, but there was a baby that actually fell out of the
Do you
bleachers
remember that?
when I was on the sideline, somebody came and told me that, that was wow.
okay, I'm just curious what it was.
Yeah, but that's just something simple, and we're just trying
do
to,
this too.
appease Brim before they get here.
This was a baby,
But
yeah.
I think we're okay with our process, and when she comes, I think she'll be fine with it.
Thank you.
Just a baby boo?
Bounced up.
Dr. Van Moo's gonna let me fast forward. I have a Little League game in like 2 minutes, to the flooring portion. on the schedule. Yeah, it's, unfinished business.
They can't vote, but you can give them all the info,
Okay.
then they can vote later when we get there.
If you wanna pull your paper out, it's the one from Kiefer USA Proposal, and I will do my best to dummy that down for you, because I had to call myself and took quite a few notes and
Nice that it's so readable. What I have is this tiny stuff. I didn't know whatever that was pictured.
Here, how about I go make a copy real quick?
No, I don't have that.
You go make a copy real quick?
I did.
That's all done.
Unless you wanna do a copy of this note.
Oh, no,
Well,
that's all they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all they need, that's all that's really there.
I got you. Feel free.
Did you
Does
see
anybody
all
have that one?
stuff?
The
Well,
keeper
we-
proposal.
It's the keeper
Here's-
proposal.
Yeah, here's the one.
But then it has, 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 different
Option.
Yeah, yeah.
Right
Here, you can
Page
have mine.
17.
I'll share.
I just gave her, I have, yeah, it's totally
That's the
different.
one that we
Oh.
got.
It's totally different. We may have sent you the wrong one on that.
I'm telling you, you need a magnifying glass to read this.
Yeah. Yeah, on the computer, so you have to zoom in.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
All
just,
areas must remain. I can read.
Well, I read it with my glasses, but
blow it
I
up.
mean, it was my eyes don't zoom like the computers do.
Yeah, mine do the opposite.
New Holland makes a gas for 145 horsepower.
Is that right?
I'm sure Mr. Harper will go out and buy it.
Well, while she's looking for that, I noticed in this that it says pricing does not include final cleaning
Cleanup.
or protection of new floor surface. Will they tell us what we need to do?
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
this was the newest of the new that Dr. Van Lee was giving to you now. This
Okay.
was what I had broke down.
Thanks.
So I had Kiefer come and look at the floor. And when Kiefer came and looked at the floor, the floor's in bad shape. It couldn't be an eighth of an inch in a 10-foot span. And we had areas where one end of the 10-foot span was at 7/8, the other end was at 3/4, meaning that the middle had pushed up that much. So you had options. You can grind the concrete down. Closest concrete grinder we could find was in Pittsburgh, PA. You're now chasing everywhere you go, so you're just chasing those grinds. Then we thought, well, we can put floor leveler in there. Well, there was going to be so much floor leveler. So they came up with these options. And on these options, option one, they're talking about first install a Connor Retroflex subfloor. So what that Retroflex subfloor is that's the same exact type of subfloor that you have on a basketball court. They actually come in and they build it out of wood. It gives with the floor. And then the topper to that is your maple flooring. So you would have an actual basketball court type of a floor on your option one. With that, you still have your annual screening it and putting your wax on top every single year. You have outside entities supposedly that will be using that building, so the floor is going to be filthy all the time. We talk about only these type of shoes on the floor. So it's doable, but I don't think it's our best option. Option two is the one that makes sense to me. Option two is an Ardex concrete topical that they pour as a cap. So they do come back in and they re-pour over top of the concrete and they level it out to their specs. Then they would take the Mondo, which was the flooring that I brought in to you guys. You remember the rubber flooring?
Mhm.
They then put that on top of it. So it turns out to be exactly like we were expecting before, if our
It's like
concrete
8
wasn't bad.
millimeter.
Um,
It's the thickest.
the Everlay that is, yeah, the Everlay that is also noted there, he called me back. He does not think, and he knows that that is overkill, and we do not need the Everlay. So the Everlay is not even going to be an option, which is that option add, so you can eliminate that completely off. It will not be part of it. They will mitigate the existing and put a moisture barrier before and then pour the new cap. So we won't have to worry about the moisture barrier from that point on as well. Option 3 is a complete overkill. It goes back to, they build the hardwood, the Retroflex floor with the wood, and then they come and they lay the Mondo on top of that Retroflex floor. To me, that's overkill, and that's why I think option 2, Aaron, our sales guy, he's also a West Virginia boy. He also believes that option 2 is our best bet with that as well. But I just wanted to kind of break it down, because when I looked at it as well, it did not make sense to me at all, but especially with the subfloor portions of it. So basically, option 1 and option 3, they will build you a floor that goes up and down. Option 1, you get the maple topping. Option 2, you get the Mondo topping. But option 3, you get another solid pour of concrete and then the Mondo on top of that.
I don't think we could afford option 3 if we wanted it, could we? I think it's too much based upon our funding for,
Yeah.
I think it's too much.
yeah, I think it,
To pay for.
well, it was this and the elevator price together. And when I don't remember the exact number, Janet, but I think when we looked at it, it was super tight with option 3. So I think if you do that, you're going to be to the point where you don't have any.
Option 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're good
Yes.
with option 2.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So now
So what
this,
made the concrete so bad?
There was no expansion joints put in, and it's built in river bottom.
So who's to say that won't happen again under the new floor that we put down?
Well, if they do the new part, it falls under their warranty. I'm not saying it's
But
not gonna happen.
but the
Concrete
concrete
breaks no
says
matter
that
what.
The contract also states that any
That's the
twiddly
main, that's the.
needs to be at our expense.
Any, what is it?
Oh, I said twiddling, but any,
This is that.
resurfacing or any
This is-
leveling up of the
This-
Right,
floor.
so that was the one we initially received, the small print that
Right.
you're referring to.
Right.
it just
So,
says advanced.
I told him, I said, we're in
That
Podunk,
says
West
8
Virginia. We don't have anybody
millimeters.
around that
This
can
says
do what your
7.4.
contract says.
Okay.
Does your business or does your company do this? Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's when they came, these are the 3 options that they came up with,
Needed to
which
have.
does not void their warranty. So if they come in and they do the subfloor, whichever one we purchase, that warranty still holds good because
That
they
makes
did the
them
work.
responsible
Yes.
and not us.
Yeah, because if we would bring a third party in, have them do the subfloor, it even says that we needed an inspector to inspect it
Mhm.
prior to them doing it, or it would void
That's
warranty.
exactly.
This now voids what that contract
that's
says
option
and puts everything back on Kiefer.
But it doesn't have that stuff. with
Does that make
it.
sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. But yeah,
How long is the warranty on the subfloor under it, Josh? That's the only thing that concerns me. You know, how when you pour
Yeah.
a thin layer of cement over another layer, it'll crack.
I have it on standby, because I knew y'all would have questions.
That's my only concern. It appeared that that floor had only been bull floated and not finished when I looked at it over there.
Right. Yeah,
It didn't have a good finish on
it
it.
did not. It didn't have a good finish. It didn't have expansion joints. The only joint that I really saw was the 2 different pours on the whole thing.
Well, it started out as something different than when they were pouring the floor than what it ended up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
we're putting
Well,
lipstick on a pig and trying to
Well,
make
when it was
pretty
field turf,
pig.
it really didn't matter. very
No.
long. But now that it's going to be
Right.
something of this nature, then yeah, now it needs to be a whole lot.
I mean, I guess it'll be what it'll be. Well, if we're going to use it for the purpose that we've decided that we're going to use it for, you know.
What's their timeline if we elect to do that?
He'd be ready to go as soon as. He felt confident, that if we gave him an answer, and Warren signed off on everything, read it, we were good on his end, that they would be ready to go quick. Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions so he can go watch his
Oh,
his
okay,
granddaughter, his
yeah.
daughter?
Yeah.
Is he answering you, Josh, on
Yeah,
warranty?
he is. It's bubbling.
Okay, so we'll get a warranty answer for you.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious.
I'm curious too, now that you say it. The RDEX cap is 25 years. That's pretty good warranty. That's longer than the 10 years I was gonna throw out there too.
The RDEX cab, now that's
Yes,
what
ma'am.
we
That's
have
option
to-
two.
It's option two.
Option two.
And I guess the only other thing is, do you have anything you want to say about the fire marshal inspection? before-
No, on the fire marshal, I told you it was fairly easy. We've already gone over, fixed and completed everything on the list that was there.
Yeah, it looks like a
Extremely simple, yeah. Yeah, I've got my bearings with the fire marshal, kind of know what he's expecting and things like that now. Yeah, it only took 4 times. We finally got it right on the fifth.
Only other thing I had, and I'll tell you as you're walking out the door, you guys get hit up for exit signs all the time. You need to have a bunch of them in stock, because I know what happens. The kids jump up and whack them.
They do,
And it busts them, and they can't help it, it's their age,
They
you
do.
know?
especially the ones where there's nobody around, the backs of auditoriums, the hallways.
Sure,
Coming down the steps at
Sure.
East Hardy Elementary.
yeah,
it's always the same
it's just part of growing up, so.
one.
And that way,
Not really, not really.
well, yeah. So, my brother always thought he was like the basketball player, and he'd hit
Jump up and whack it.
the door frames in the house, and, oh, my mother'd get mad. Oh,
I bet.
and I'd laugh. It was fun. Well,
Yell at anybody.
yeah, okay, so, let's see, so we need to go back to, presentations, item B, Bonnie.
ready to roll.
Oh, she's already up, you snuck up there and you're already ready.
So I hope you had time to look through that because I'm certainly not going through the 90
We
odd
just got it
pages.
tonight.
Yeah, we just got it today too, so it's.
But if you want to look at your data file, I encourage you to look through all of it. But I'm not going to go over all of it. I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights.
And Bonnie, what we did in the past is once they had a chance to take it home, if they had questions and
Yeah.
they wanted you back, we'll just let you know if that's okay.
Yeah, that was fine. That worked well last time.
Okay.
So overall, we'll start with the first part of it, which is the largest part of it, because I'm looking at several different things about the benchmark scores. Overall, from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2, we showed pretty significant growth, both in iReady and the West Virginia General Summit assessment data. So on both of those, overall, it was really good. High school still took Horizon overall. That was an improvement too, from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2. On average, 40% of the students improved at least one grade level or like an equivalent measurement in ELA, and 43% improved one grade level, at least one grade level in math. So we're seeing growth in both data areas. We do have a consistent increase in the students that are becoming on grade level across both reading and math in most of the grade levels. And we're also seeing a decrease in students who are at that lowest performing level, which is what we want. We want to see that lowest performance level decreasing while the on level is increasing. And so that's exactly what we saw between benchmark 1 and benchmark 2. This is consistent in both reading and math, and it's consistent in all grade levels, both East Hardy side and Moorfield side. So what that tells us is that the instruction that the teachers are giving in between these two benchmarks is working. That's exactly what we expect to happen. And there aren't really any outliers like that are crazy low at any particular grade. Kindergarten is a little bit different when you're looking at like grade level growth because it is the lowest grade level. So I look at like between like, I think it's called emerging, early, late. I think those are the terms that iReady uses. So I look at the growth of the kindergartners through the kindergarten curriculum because they're not grade levels behind when you're looking at their performance levels.
10th grade math at East Hardy is lower than it
But it typically is.
typically is. Yes, you're right.
So it wasn't anything that like stood out. I don't know what it is about that 10th grade math horizon
Assessment.
test.
Yeah.
But it almost every single year it is that way. It's lower than the rest. So that's why I said it didn't really stick out. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's been that
nothing
way
new.
consistently for the past 3 years. So
Yeah.
I've never seen the test. I have no idea what's on it, but it would be interesting to look at like
What are they struggling with most in that
Yeah.
area?
yeah.
The iReady data though is promising.
The iReady data is very promising. It's a lot better than STAR.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot more consistent growing through the grade levels. Whereas before when we were looking at like K2 in STAR data, it looked like the kids were way above where they should be. And then all of a sudden, 3rd grade, it looks like they just dropped off.
Yeah.
And now it does not look that way. So hopefully using iReady, I feel like that was a good move.
And just to add to that, so the board knows, the MTSS, which is multi-tiered systems of support, we've been working that harder this year, which is providing interventions at different layers and different levels for students in the classroom. So that's happening by your classroom teachers in the rooms. They're doing a nice job of managing that and using iReady as a tool to group the students and give them some of the resources they need to do that. So I'll just shout out to the teachers for working, because that's a hard thing to manage in a classroom. That's
Overall,
positive.
I feel like that is definitely working. Just looking at the growth from previous years to this year, it's definitely greater this year.
Yeah.
So, let me make sure I understand this. So looking at the 10th grade in math, at Moorfield, I can't tell if that's looks like a 5 maybe. Or is it a 6, an 8? I can't tell.
Yeah.
There
So the
were
10th
just that many people that were, but
the on
80,
level.
89 out of the 90, there's 95 total, there were 89
Who
that
are,
were below
Yes.
mastery.
yes, that was what Dr. Van Meter just pointed out, that in that 10th grade math, for whatever reason, has been and still is a discrepancy, it seems like, with the data. It's like they're not making growth, but in 9th grade and then 11th grade, it does show growth. So it's interesting. It must be something with that test, but it's both East Hardy and Warfield, so I don't feel
It's
like
not
it's
growing like
teacher.
they
I
should
feel
be,
like
yeah.
it's maybe something with the test.
Well, and it's the same with English language arts.
Maybe it's just 10th graders in general.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I did star that though, to talk to both principals about what they're seeing with that group and that assessment. I try to get some feedback to help us on that end.
Yeah. That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason there is that weird discrepancy there.
And remember, they just take at the high school 9 through 12, they just take the SAT at the 11th grade for the state's purposes for us reporting. So when you see the state scores for Hardy County, it's based upon that junior class only that you're getting feedback on. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. It's 150% matters, but I'm just saying we got to get them to where they need to be by the junior year test date is what we need to focus on too.
So
we need to see what's going on there.
Overall, like 11th grade is the same thing.
The percent overall is based off of the number of, like, how many standards they've mastered out of the total number that they're going to have. So I actually didn't even do that for the 7
Should get the
benchmark.
scaled score.
What I've used in the past is the scaled score side. And so comparing from year to year, which is kind of where we're going to see like, are we making progress in these students year after year after year? The scaled score side is the side you want to look at. I didn't even do that for benchmark two because it didn't make sense to compare something completely different to what we've done in the past. So I changed the,
But do
but I
you,
left it on there just
do you
so.
take
it's
their
there.
scores though, like I said, from where they were 3 years ago, let's say as 7th graders, where they are now, 3 years later as 10th graders?
I have not because I don't have enough data to do that yet.
That
But I
would be
have, but I am working on building out spreadsheets that will do that.
good. Okay.
It's just that at this point, I haven't been doing this long enough to have enough data for that to be significant.
I'm sure that'd be a lot of work. That would be-
I made tools that do
That would be.
I mean, it's a
the only way
lot to spend
you
on
really
it.
see that they have made improvements, right? I mean, over.
Yeah.
We're
And
2 years into
tracking
tracking
them.
it, yeah.
So ultimately, yes, that is the goal, to be able to track groups of students, across grades. But right now, I just don't have enough
Well,
data.
can we
to submit.
look at? I've always had the idea and understood from reading and stuff that kids who were worked with at home, that they do real well, through the 4th grade.
Okay,
And then at 5th grade, that almost all of the knowledge that they're getting, it's all new. And that's
Okay.
where you can really start seeing them separate out. So let's look and see. I mean, have you ever heard that?
I
no,
would say.
I have
start
not.
sooner.
I
I'd
have
say-
not either.
I'd say 3rd grade is when we really start having taught 4th grade. And I'd say it would be 3rd grade, would be really.
I know in 3rd grade is kind
It's
of when they make the
Real
switch.
rigorous,
Yeah,
yeah.
the switch from like learning to read and then
Reading to learn. Yeah.
That 3rd grade year is kind of the year that switch happens for the most part. I mean, you still have to teach reading strategies and
Yeah,
whatnot, but
Okay.
it's more so that 3rd, or at least from my understanding.
Well,
that's
it's
where that's at.
probably that because we didn't used to read till the 1st grade.
right.
And now it's in kindergarten, they expect you to read. So that makes sense that would move a grade.
Yeah, it does. Makes sense.
So
James Button. Oh,
let's look, can you talk to us about this 3rd grade, these 3rd grade results?
The 3rd grade in the past few years, it definitely seems like that is where the change happens. But it might be just because of the fact that I was using STAR data previously, where I saw that huge discrepancy. This year, when I was looking at the grades, it does not seem as like there's as big of a discrepancy. It does seem like the testing may get slightly harder in the past from the STAR, but using iReady, it does not appear that way. And the iReady testing is pretty consistent. If you compare like 2nd grade growth to 3rd grade growth to 4th grade growth, there's not like a huge like back like decline, I guess, in 3rd grade, like what I saw on like general summative assessment previously. So, I mean, I feel like the iReady test is a much better measurement of where the students are actually at and the growth that is actually happening. And it
Agree.
does not appear that 3rd grade is some like outlier from this data.
Because these kids have had, the interventionists in the classroom
Yes.
and,
The current 2nd graders have had them since 1st grade. So next
Right.
year will be the group that has made it all the way
All the
through
way
from
through.
pre-K through,
It'll
if
be
they attend
interesting.
pre-K.
I mean, I
Yeah.
believe that the interventionists have truly helped.
Yeah, and you're talking about, to clarify, the ECATs in the classroom, the early childhood classroom assistant
Right,
teachers that the
right.
legislature put in place, yeah.
But, I mean, we need to look at that and make sure that statistically that they really are. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's a law we have to have.
It is. It is a law.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
But, and, the only thing that I ever thought with that, but when I go into the classrooms, is that the interventionist is in the classroom and usually she'll have a group of kids around her that don't understand something. And, you know, she's helping them with it. And I'm surprised that it doesn't bother the other students, but, you know.
I think they've been working that way so long in small groups that they're all just used to.
Yeah.
They've been used to it probably since very early on.
Yeah, okay,
It's been in place for a while as far as the small groups go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was in, I mean, we're all wired differently. I
Sure.
was in a first, second grade split.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the first grade, and that was really boring to me. And so I would do my work real quick, and then I would listen to second grade. And,
Yeah.
you know, I would make my own paper to,
To follow along.
Yeah, but you were gifted.
oh, yeah. I don't know about that. But anyway, you know, it was like, okay, she's teaching and I need to learn that stuff, you know. And it seems like it would be a problem. And I guess I mean, I see here where, like the green in math at, East Hardy means that those students, and this is like second grade, are two grade levels below, which would put them to pre-K, right?
Second, if they're in second grade and they're two below, it would be kindergarten.
Okay, kindergarten. So, are they still I know we talked about at one time when you were here, targeting kids that are just on the line.
Yeah.
You know, that if see exactly what they need to move up to the next level and really target those kids.
Yeah, and they are, I mean, if you're using second grade as an example, in that first benchmark, there were 26 out of the 43 students who were those 2 grade levels below. And on the second benchmark, we're only at 9 now, which is significant. Like, that's significant growth.
And as a
So-
reminder, those students that are special education students, even if they have an IEP with a disability in math specifically, they're still taking the same test.
Yeah, so that, and I mean, East Hardy probably at that. I don't know
That's
if they have
probably
any
correct.
EL students or
They,
not,
they don't have EL.
But, I mean, those numbers do include all of the students,
Sure,
Yeah.
not just your general ed
Sure.
students.
sure.
So, I mean, to me, when I saw that, I was like, wow, like that's
They're working
impressive.
hard. Yeah.
That's- The teachers are doing great things. Any other questions before I touch on attendance?
So we gotta get back to the attendance, right?
So, if you go page 48, so about halfway through your packet, you should see attendance. Overall, if we're comparing like this year to last year, Hardy County attendance, we're at 93.09% right now. Last year at this same time, we were at 93.04%, so we're maintaining, which is good. I mean, I guess it's a slight increase, but it's not much. The chronic absenteeism, even though we're maintaining like overall attendance, the chronic absenteeism is increased by about 1% for this year compared to last year. Not 100% sure of what's going on there or what's causing that. Last year it was down. It's still down from 23-24, So we're still lower than what we were 2 years ago. But for some reason, that's kind of increased a little bit. I know that we focused on attendance. Continuing to focus on it is a good idea, because kids can't learn and can't grow if they're not in school. So that's kind of the highlights of the attendance. If you look at the attendance rates, the elementary, intermediate areas tend to have higher attendance than like high school side. Although East Hardy High School has some numbers in there that every time I look at their grade levels, I'm like, they've got a couple grades in here that are coming to school a lot more frequently than others. But it changes every month, so I don't know really. There's not really a trend to that. It's just like random. Like 1 month it'll be 9th grade that's coming, and the next month it'll be 11th grade. And why? I don't know.
It's the mac and cheese reward, Jennifer, that they're doing.
It's coming up.
They got a group of kids it was the ones that had perfect attendance.
Yeah, it's the seniors.
The seniors got to eat. Yeah, they had a competition, and whoever had the best attendance gets macaroni and cheese as a reward.
Okay.
They're making
So-
them macaroni and
So
cheese.
when they lose, then the next month they come to school.
Yeah, maybe they want the mac and cheese too.
We're gonna have to make a good mac and cheese.
Yeah, for God's sake, feed them macaroni and cheese every day. Turn them into a noodle.
Any questions on the attendance data? And then the disciplines, if you go a few more pages back from there, that's on page 64. Compared to last year, our discipline is staying pretty stable as well. There's not like any major increases. The biggest incidents still continue to be like disruptions in the classroom, disruptive, I think it's called like disruptive defiant or something like that on Weavis. So it's the constant interruptions from some of the students, but we are remaining stable. They look very similar across school levels if you consider the age of the students. So like if you're comparing East Hardy High School to Moorfield High School, there's not like a significant difference in the types of behaviors that are happening. And then based off of student populations, it's very similar number of incidents in that ratio of incidents to students. So basically, this just suggests that our school climates are staying stable. No increase or decrease from last year to this year. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it's good that we're maintaining and not getting worse, but I guess we should always try to improve. And then at the very end, you'll see the learning team data. There's data in there from every school. These are those very specific goals that the teachers are using iReady data for, or Horizon data, or classroom data, and setting goals and working towards achieving them. And so you can see those for every single grade level. Those mostly are supporting math and reading instruction. Haven't seen any this year, like attendance or anything like that. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Good report.
Take them and pass them down.
Very best of the rating. $89 here on that.
So following along with, and major thank you to Ms. Bonnie Grace for providing a lot of that attendance related data, and just kind of transitioning on to that. I'll start with the open homeschool side of things, since you have a lot of the figures for the regular attendance and school breakdown and county breakdown, but wanted to give you all an update on some of the homeschool and host scholarship numbers. The first page that you have there is the Hope Scholarship Report. Now, that's still for this school year. And it's in tiny print down there at the bottom, but the state website must only update about once a month. So it shows that this was last updated on March 2nd of this year. So these numbers are not completely up to date, that's the most recent data that's available. But as you can see, there is that the newly received notices there, the second graph that you have, those are all the notices that came in this year, okay? And then the breakdown of the active students down there in the last graph, if you will, showing at 35. Now, we have already started receiving Hope Scholarship notices of intent for next year, for the 26-27 school year. That's at 14 right now, notice of intent. So that 35 that we have here does not necessarily include the additional 14 that we have received for the following year as well. So much like the trend and that we've discussed before, is that the expectation is that those numbers will continue to grow up as it expands, and it appears to be going in that direction. Okay.
Do they have to apply every year?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
and that is something is that, at least with the Hope Scholarship aspect, is that there is an application that comes in every single year, and it can be denied from the Hope program if they haven't complied with, their requisite requirements, if you will, per the statute and per those. So if they're not submitting their annual reports, or they're not submitting their grade level specific assessments that they're required to do, those would be reasons to deny somebody, among others. Now, if you would skip back to the last page, so those are the actual Hope numbers that we have, but I wanted to include this too, is that this is a Hope Scholarship WEVIS ID request form. Now, you'll see there at the top, it says this is not a Hope Scholarship notice of intent. But how I've been perceiving this is kind of like a pre-intent notice. And we have gotten at least a dozen of these as well. So these are not necessarily parents or guardians that are submitting a notice of intent, but at least are starting that process. By way of example is that if we get one of these for a student that we've never had, we have to generate that WEVIS ID number for them first, because it still is flowing through the State Department for the Hope Scholarship to go ultimately to the Treasury Department. So it's kind of we have the additional 14 notices of intent that we have received, and then another dozen of these WEVIS ID requests that I think will be an additional dozen on top of that 14 that we've already received. So there again is just showing numbers of trending in the direction of more students exploring Hope Scholarship. Questions on that? And then the second page there is the traditional homeschool enrollment, and that's still showing active right now, active students as 198. Now, some of those, because it doesn't give me on these reports when I pull these reports from the state system, it doesn't give me a student by student breakdown necessarily for purposes of which ones have also filed notices of intent. So there very well could be some of these 198 active homeschool students that have been some of that 14 that have submitted the notice of intent for Hope next year, which I'm expecting is that the numbers of the homeschool students will drop a little bit as those students transition over to Hope. That's the expectation.
Sure. Makes sense.
Questions on that with the Hope or homeschool side of things for those numbers? Still staying on attendance. There have been 5 truancy criminal complaints that I filed since December, 4 of which are still pending. They've been pretty good. The magistrate court has been pretty good about scheduling those pretty quickly for me. So I'll keep you all updated with those as they are coming down, but they are, the schools have been great. It's been really good working, especially with the newer assistant principals as well, to really have a good plan. And I've gone and sat in on some of the attendance meetings with parents or students if they're over 18, and trying to address those at the school level before they ultimately get to me, and then get to Dr. Van Meter before we pursue the criminal complaint aspect.
How many days have those 5 missed from school on the
Um,
average, do you know?
It's really across the board. There have been some that have been as low as 12 and others that have been 20 plus. So it's really working with the individual situation in the school to say we need to get this case expedited because it's going to continue to be an issue, or it just gets to the point where they have tried all avenues and can't get any increase in the students' attendance, and so it's last case scenario type of situation.
Most of those high school kids are
No. Of those
Quit.
5, majority are, so one of the 5 was a high school student. The other 4 have been elementary school and intermediate school.
And the one that would have like 12 absences, the issue that would cause us to take someone with a lower number like 12, which still certainly qualifies, but if they're responding, not at all. So they've reached out, the school's called, we've called, we're sending on it, we're asking for messages. I'll call them before they go. I'm the last step, and they just won't call you back or answer at all.
and
That's
those
when
are
we're
excused absences.
Correct.
unexcused, yeah.
And how the schools are processing that is they have their tiers that they have to meet for, the school-wide tier, the individualized tier, class-based tier, individualized tier. So they are really trying to work through before there's any major court intervention, if you will, until it gets to that point, so.
So that student with 12 excused may have 12 unexcused also.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, if they have, the various parent notes,
Right.
is that those wouldn't count for purposes of a truancy. We have to have that minimum of 10 unexcused before we can pursue any sort of court proceeding.
It'd be interesting to know those numbers,
Mm-hmm.
how many are excused.
Right, because, per state policy is that they're entitled to,
Right.
those numbers of parent notes and whatnot, but it's still,
I'm sure that number will be high.
sure, I would expect so too.
For,
Is there a maximum number of parent excuses that the schools accept? Is it 10?
10. Mhm.
for those students that don't respond at all,
Mm-hmm.
do you notify a CPS worker then to go check on them?
We don't, because the students are coming to school some, so it's not like they're just, I don't think we have had anybody.
Not to that point. We have had
Yeah.
a situation though, a specific instance where we had an out-of-county transfer.
Yes.
That was a student that was residing in another county, became a truancy issue. Myself and the assistant principal made various attempts to get in touch with that parent, ultimately contacted state police to do a wellness check. So we can use law enforcement to be able to go out, or request law enforcement to be able to go out to do these wellness checks for that very reason, make sure that the child's safe. And that actually came about as he made contact with the mother. She was like, oh yeah, such and such is going to go back to school. Didn't, and so we revoked the out-of-county transfer. But if it were a student, let's say that's a Hardy County resident, we would take that same process. And if we ever had any concern, on top of the failure to come to school regularly, becoming an attendance issue, but if there were any concerns over safety, health, and welfare of the child, absolutely, we would be making CPS referrals, and all of our personnel know their obligations.
When you revoke them, do you all notify the county that they?
We do.
reside in?
Yes, I usually
So they
call.
know that they're-
Coming back.
Mhm. Yep. And our social workers, our communities and schools coordinators, they have a big role in this too, because they specifically work on attendance, and they'll do home visits also if we run into issues. Yeah, they're important.
Any other questions on that, on the attendance piece specifically? Just briefly on personnel, we have kind of come through the RIF transfer process, which is nobody's favorite time of the year. But actually starting tomorrow, I'll be posting the positions that were part of that RIF transfer process, but also the folks that have notified us of retirement for the various professional and service positions. We can start posting those for the beginning of the 26-27 school year. So in these next couple of weeks especially, we're hoping that a lot of the displaced employees that we had through that RIF transfer process, now knowing the retirement numbers and positions, will be able to fall into positions otherwise. So that will be coming. That's, the busy time of the year from the personnel side of things is with that RIF transfer process, but thankfully we made it to this point and hoping that folks will fall into place after this.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so looks like up next, Dr. Van Meter. Yes, let's see.
So, I give you, ignore that, we can do that. It's not an Easter round two fund. Updates, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Put these in binders for you guys so that it would be easier for you to follow and keep them in order. So what you're receiving is
Every job description for the employees at the central office, as well as a kind of self-described duties and responsibilities list. And so when you start, you'll see that I'm the first one. That's the actual, well, what we believe to be the full job description for the superintendent. Because it's codified and it's in state code, there's not a Hardy County version of it. Plus I have a contract. So that one's a little bit different. But the first is what we would say would be the job description. And it's 3 pages. And then if you look at the next section, it'll say Hardy County Schools, Superintendent of Schools, overview of duties and responsibilities. That would be my version of what I would tell you that I spend the majority of my time doing in those next few pages. And then you'll see, if you flip the page, executive secretary, then you'll start seeing the Hardy County formatted job description versions first, and then followed by, Sean's description of how she spends the majority of her time in her individual duties. And you have that for every employee that is employed in the central office. So I wanted to share that with you because I know there have been a lot of questions in the last, several weeks, and specifically speaking to the levy regarding what do the people at the board office do? What are their primary functions? And you'll see when you look through this that many, if not all, have multiple different roles and duties. So what we've tried to do over the years, we did have, and I'll just review this with you briefly, we did have a truancy diversion specialist. We eliminated that position to save money and no longer have that position here. So Orrin takes on those duties as part of his role. Hiring Orrin was one of the things that we did to save by hiring an in-house attorney, because now we're not contracting for attorney fees that are outside, which were costing us upwards of $100,000 in some years. And that was absorbed into the personnel position. Used to be an attendance director that was separate back when we had, what was the gentleman's name that also worked for the examiner? It was Mr. Wilbur. And then after that, there was someone else that did that for a while. So we had different folks that did that. That's all kind of Orrin's role right now. So he's absorbed a lot of those positions in that position that he holds. We also had at one point an additional maintenance guy that was our halftime maintenance and halftime county custodian for here, just at the board office. That position was eliminated. So I just wanted to point out that over the years, we've really eliminated the positions we've hired here. Even though the number of work, the amount of work and the responsibilities from the State Department have increased, we've taken on those duties. And what we've tried to do is pay additional, stipends or amounts of money for those employees that are in the central office to pick up the new responsibilities that have come up for different reasons. So I wanted to explain that a little bit. Also, to kind of parallel that, you look at the school positions that we've had to hire over the past several years, and you'll see that we've had to hire in every school an addition, they have their own nurse now pretty much. I think with the exception of the East Hardy campus, they have one that they share half and half, but we have additional nurses. We're up to 5 in the county versus the 2 we originally had. We have a social worker at each school. We have an assistant principal at each school. And those were all things that with the, additional duties and responsibilities at the school level, we've increased the capacity there, but while actually here we've reduced it. So I wanted to point that out because I know you as board members get questions a lot of times about why, who, what are they doing? And I wanted you to have all of it. So please take a look at this. My original plan was to do a PowerPoint and kind of walk you through every position, but as you can see, that would be quite the PowerPoint presentation. So I will be happy to revisit this at the next meeting and clarify and answer any questions about anyone that you might want to talk about. I'm happy to do that. I just wanted you to have that for you to review and look at.
Your, the county concerns committee and the questions that came in.
Yes.
And your response to them was excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I really
It was right
do.
on point.
Thank you. I do want everyone to know that the goal is honestly to get out accurate information. So I'm not offended when anyone asks questions about what someone does or why they make what they make, or the days that they work. I really do want folks to truly understand how we operate, because when you understand the way we're structured, I think it makes a difference. It makes you see things a little differently. But thank you. And I thought about sending this out too, but then I thought, gosh, she's going to actually read all that. But we have it. So if you have somebody that wants to see it, we have a copy here in the office. If you don't want to share yours, you can have them come by, and we'll be glad to share that with them. It's not a secret.
Well, they got
There you go,
useful
there you go.
information. You always hear, what's the central office do in the summertime? Until you've worked here from the day school is out till it starts, you don't have time to do anything but get ready for school.
Summertime is extremely busy and stressful here. Yes, it is probably the bit starting about now
Exactly
till
right.
kids come back. Till about mid-September, early October. It's extremely busy. Yeah, it is. So I hope that's helpful.
That's good information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This will be a bedtime reading.
Enjoy. It'll probably put you to sleep. It'll do the job.
Wow.
Okay, so, all right. Next up's public comments, and we did not have any. Item 7 are the consent items.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent items, which are the special board minutes of March 16th, attachment 1, and the board minutes, the first one was special board member minutes, and then the second one's board minutes. Any discussion, any corrections? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, so they're approved 5-0. Under unfinished business, we have approval of Moorfield Elementary School sealed bids, attachment 3.
I move we approve option 2.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to approve option 2. Is there any discussion?
And our money is there enough to cover that in the elevator, correct?
It is, yes. Yep, it is.
That's all I had to make sure.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And option 2 is approved 5-0. Under new business, we have approval of fire safety inspection report. It
Move to
was
approve.
attachment 4. So we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the fire safety inspection reports. Any discussion? It didn't, to me, it didn't seem like there was anything that, to be concerned about except those exit things that,
Yeah.
that if we could keep them around a little,
And one extension cord.
yeah, I
I don't know
mean,
what was being plugged into the extension.
yeah, I had
It's
no
hard to tell.
idea who thought an extension cord was appropriate.
It's truly hard to tell. I didn't ask, but
Yeah, but
Them, yeah.
yeah, someone did. So anyway, let's hope that they learned and they,
And took it away.
yeah.
The extension cord is gone.
So any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, and we're approved 5-0. Next up, board member and superintendent discussion. No action may be taken.
We'll start with what I thought was, and thanks to Sean for printing and framing these for you, but I thought you guys would like to have,
All the little land.
It's super cute and.
I'm gonna take mine over and put it up the Baker School. That's right there, saw it.
We should have had you all be autographed.
Yeah.
I thought they were very.
You know, you have more hair than that.
I know. You're right. I look bald, right?
I thought you looked like Doug Boswell in that picture. To be honest with you.
No, that's true. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, sure, sure.
Mad
You're welcome.
Men magazine.
Yeah, Mad. Yeah, it does look like Mad. So that was the first thing.
Thanks, Doug, you're getting worse. Just stop now. Just stop now, right? Man,
So we had that. Also wanted to share with you, we submitted mailed it on Friday, an SBA project, MIP, Major Improvement Project, which is the smaller version of the big like building remodels, but it's for bleacher remodeling at East Hardy Elementary School in the gymnasium. The total project is $93,408 with a commitment from Hardy County Schools of $10,000. Now, along with that, there's a federal grant through the USDA that Emily is writing that will match half of this, that would give us half of our requested amount should we get it. She said she feels pretty good about it. She's completed the application processes and is getting that in, but we have to put it for the full amount should we not. So I just wanted to tell you about that. So their bleachers in their gymnasium actually have huge, if you haven't been in there to look, they have huge gaps, and we'll look when we're there on the 16th, but between the sections that pull out, and they don't pull out all the way. So the step to get onto the bleachers is like yay tall. It's really not safe. The cranks are broken and they're in bad shape. So I wanted you to know that has gone in, and we'll keep you posted. It's a June date that they finalize that and let us know. But if anyone wants to go out for the presentation that we'll be doing to the SBA, I'll let you know when that is. And we ride to Charleston and go in and pitch our case for that one, but I'll keep you posted on that.
That's a good project. If you've ever helped pull those bleachers out, they need more.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And then these are your goals as board members, if you'll pass those around. I thought you have with you my evaluation, which you take that home with you today, and it comes back at the next meeting and is given to Dixie. And as the board president, she calculates that, but you have that manila envelope that needs to go with you today that has my data. And so you have my goals and you have my data to support my goals, which you'll see I have not yet at this point met any of the three of them, but we're making progress. So I'm proud of that. They were lofty this year. But your data to support it is in there. And then these are those are due the 20th to Dixie. And then I thought you'd want to see your goals because your goals very closely.
Yeah, we need to measure them at the same time. So when you're looking at hers, we need to look at ours.
Yeah, take a look and just review. I want to just remind you what your goals were on that end too. I wanted to mention, because this question has come up a handful of times, and I want more clarify. The MN8 and ESG are two completely separate groups. I know you know that, so this is more for the public and for anybody that might read the minutes or watch the view of this. But MN8 would be the Oldfield Solar Project folks, and ESG would be our energy savings group that we're working with. So ESG would be the ones that are putting in the solar panels at East Hardy, a separate project, and that solar installation, as you guys know, was something we got a bunch of rebate. We're going to get a large rebate on, and helps pay for the energy for long-term at East Hardy. So those are two separate things. MN8, the Oldfield Solar folks, did not install those solar panels that are at East Hardy. That is not accurate information. Hold on, I got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Got Got the goals to Dixie. Oh, can we all be here at the next meeting? Because the next meeting we will have the list to approve of probationary contracts. Thank you. I couldn't think. Probationary contracts. So we just need all board members here. Otherwise, everybody good? Good. 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 If not, we just have to schedule another meeting to do that. So, but we're coming
That's
up
the
on that
20th
deadline.
meeting.
That's the 20th. Yeah, that's the 20th. The educator of the year, the professional educator of the year, and the service person of the year banquet is Monday, April 13th, which is a week from today. It's at 5:00 at Moorfield High School. Starts out in the cafeteria with a dinner, ends in the auditorium. The dinner, you have to let us know you and a guest, we're inviting you and a guest. Did you count them already? You and a guest can come to that dinner. Anyone can come into the auditorium, but the dinner itself, which starts at 5, would be you all and a guest. So please come and have dinner, and then we'll go in and celebrate our teacher and professional educator and service person of the year. We've had a huge number of donations come in from businesses in the community. It has been wonderful. So it's going to be really, really nice. Those folks interview this week to find out who the county winners will be Thursday and Friday, and then that's Monday. So it'll be fresh new news for everybody.
So we have already been.
Yeah, the donations are for the winners of both county winners. So it'll be
You've
nice.
already been counted for the dinner.
Sean's got you covered.
Gotcha, thank you.
That's good you're having it in the auditorium too.
Yeah.
Because always before we just did it in the cafeteria and it doesn't
It's
seem
awkward.
as special as it should be, you know?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
We hope it works out and
So are
it comes
you
off
guys
as planned.
bringing guests?
We have you counted if you want to bring Oscar to eat dinner. You can. You don't have to, but you can if you want to.
You don't want to bring Oscar?
Well, sure, I'd love to, but I don't know if he'd come or not.
He doesn't have to if you don't want to. It's fine. We just wanted you to know you could.
He can't hear, so.
Yeah, he can eat though. The budget retreat.
Yeah, you don't eat with your ears, do you?
That's right. He can
That's a
still
good
eat.
one.
Budget retreat, the date we were looking at to line up with how we did it last year is May 28th at 1 p.m. right here in this boardroom, because this is our smaller finalizing the budget for Sarah retreat, less information than what we get in the fall. That's actually the date of a board meeting because we had to move the board meeting date, if you recall, to the 28th. So
That has to do with the
Yeah.
the fiscal condition, yeah. Mhm. Accepting the levy rates, yeah, that Sarah does.
Oh, what time did that start?
1:00 here at 1 on 5/28. I can send all this to you in an email tomorrow too,
Yeah,
if that's
that'd be
helpful, so
good.
you have it all in writing, but
Yeah.
if not after the first meeting. What's that mean? What's that last line?
If they couldn't do that.
Oh, if they couldn't do that. Okay, yeah, I think that one was good. Got that. All board members present for probationary contracts. I'm reading Sean's notes. Oh, Eaches said that they could meet with you anytime after spring break. So just let Jennifer know if you still want to visit there, and we can make that all happen.
What about, the 16th
The 16th, you're at East Hardy at the
leadership?
Leader
Day?
in Me Day. You were invited to attend that at East Hardy Elementary.
was that?
So what does that do?
I believe it was an 8:30 start time, if I remember correctly.
What does that do about meeting with the principal?
That's my next note, which is April the 20th. We're not doing the principals on the 16th because the 16th is your Leader in Me Day at East Hardy. So I have April the 20th, which is also a board meeting day. We could start at 10, wrap it up about 3:30. I'll feed you lunch.
Maybe a little late that first day of spring.
That's fine.
Sorry.
And
I'll
then
be-
principals
I'll
will,
have you done.
And what time does that, was it 9 to 12,
for what? Which part?
East Hardy
I
Elementary?
think it's 8:30 to noon. I think it starts at 8:30.
Okay.
But I'll recap that in the,
And we were talking about visiting East Hardy High while we were over there.
yes. And because we didn't get our East Hardy visits in because of weather. So that afternoon, if you want to ride over to East Hardy to do a
I think it'd
walkthrough,
be a
I'll
good
let
idea
Mr.
since
Parks
we're
know
there.
that you're coming over that day. Okay. I think that's everything.
There's also a meet the candidates night, at Eastern. that evening.
What's your graduation?
June 3rd, which is Wednesday, June 3rd. It starts with Moorfield High School at 5:30 and East Hardy High School at 7:30. So we start at Moorfield, then we drive to East Hardy for the second one. And that's
Same time again.
5:30 at Moorfield High, 7:30 at East Hardy High on June 3rd. And
So will you set up a time then for each's?
If you all have a day that you want, that you would like to visit the two preschool classrooms there, you all just pick a day and.
I will
I'll
tell
reach out
you,
to them.
I will tell you now that I will try to join you, but this is like, I have something, we're jammed this time of year. So I'm not sure that I will be at that visit, but if Jennifer can work it out when she can be there, she can accompany you.
What about the 15th? It's on a Wednesday.
15th of,
April.
Mhm.
It's the only day this month I have.
See, I knew I had a good reason. It's kind of like the only day I have too.
Yeah,
it's
So
really
April
busy.
15th.
tax day.
What time were y'all thinking? I mean,
What's a good time?
Well, you wanted to do it in the morning
Yeah.
because they take a
Yeah,
nap
I'd
and then they go
So
home.
in the afternoon, we've got a call, I've got a call on the director's name at 10, so it's
9 o'clock.
sure. I mean, I will set it up for 9. I don't know that I can go, but I will tell them 9 o'clock. on
Somebody
May
will
15th.
probably have to
May
accompany them.
April 15th, isn't it?
April 15th.
And, where is it?
Beans Lane.
Okay, it's still the same
It's
place.
still
Yep,
there.
yep.
Yes. I will.
Okay,
All
Let
right.
you know more
thank you.
from when I reach out to them.
Thank you.
It's very busy this time of year.
And the hearing is still scheduled for the 14th.
Yes, 14th at 10 a.m. for the expulsion hearing. 10 was the final.
10 o'clock, I didn't have the time.
It's
And
10.
Don't we have a South Branch meeting that day also?
I don't know, do we?
I think so.
I'd have to look in my calendar, but okay.
I have it in there, but it may be wrong.
We've got to find out when they have that,
That'll work out well then.
Award ceremony?
up at,
South
well,
Branch.
yeah, at
It's South Branch.
OTAC,
This Thursday is their National Technical Honor Society induction at 6 at the Landis Arts Center.
Right.
I don't know when I don't think they've picked a date for their, if
I
they
think
have,
They
do you know
picked
it?
I don't remember.
Okay, I don't have it at all.
We
We'll
went to
get
that
that.
last year and it was quite nice.
Yeah,
It's always nice.
we'll
Yeah.
get that next meeting.
Okay. Anything else? Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about? Okay, we'll go on future agenda items. Anybody have anything they want? Okay. So under announcements, I think that we honestly just covered it, so I don't know that I need to repeat any of it. You see that they're listed there.
Okay, there's some question about the principals. So,
Mission statements and accomplishments.
Just baseball and softball and track.
Savannah Wilkins, what was
tennis.
she?
Anything else I'm missing in full swing?
Boys basketball had an amazing season and they had a heartbreaking final game down there at Charleston, losing by 1 point.
East Hardy's.
And, you know, I felt sad, but also proud that they played their hearts out and did a good game
Oh my.
and were
they
good
did.
sports and, you know,
So
good job.
Savannah Wilkins went to Charleston and represented the county as the FBLA state president for the last time she's a senior. So congratulations to her. And
Did anybody win state wrestling?
Morgan Miller, yeah, the young lady did. Yep, she did. 145-pound weight class. That's all I have.
Okay, so we'll move on to personnel.
I do want to start with numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. With just a reminder that based upon your policy, this individual has already utilized their 5 days beyond their contracted terms that you give them. So while I recommend the approval of these, typically you would vote no on the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 together, based upon the fact that they've already gone outside of the allowable days to take without pay. Yeah, so I'll start with those. I'd recommend the approval of Emily Newton for February 19th, March 4th, March 9th, March 17th, and March 19th as days without pay.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the superintendent's recommendation. All those in, any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Nay.
So, did you vote, Malcolm?
Yes.
Okay. So, the days are denied 5-0.
All right, I would recommend the approval of days without pay for the remaining Emily Pierce, Ashley Lipscomb, Jessica Thorne, and Chessie Alice House.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the recommendation of the superintendent. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And those are approved 5-0.
Recommend the approval of the service personnel extracurricular.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We just did that one as a section. I think typically I read the rest of them before you, but you do an approval if you want to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, we just did those others separate because they
Well,
were,
that's what
we
I
broke them
thought.
apart.
I
Yeah,
thought, well, maybe we have
Ex-
conflict.
that's okay. I recommend the approval of the professional personnel hiring for Cody Mitchell, substitute teacher, countywide, Emily Newton, substitute teacher, countywide, Megan Nazelrod as a substitute teacher, countywide, and Paisley Hott as a restricted short-term substitute teacher, countywide. Richard King, long-term substitute for special education at East Hardy Elementary School, effective April 16th, 2026. Christy Nazelrod as a summer programs coordinator countywide for the 25-26 school year only. And then the volunteer, Donald McReynolds, volunteer team support personnel for softball at East Hardy High School for this school year only. And the following resignations: Emily Newton, teacher EL countywide, effective April 17th. Megan Nazelrod, teacher chemistry and science at Moorfield High School, effective June 30th. And Aletha Ross, substitute custodian countywide, effective March 30th.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the aforementioned personnel actions recommended by the superintendent. All those in favor? So they are approved 5-0.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn, all in favor? 5-0. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Was it